Monroe County marked a tragic milestone in the opioid epidemic.
There have been more than 500 overdoses this year, 101 of them fatal. 13 Wham's Matt Malloy has a closer look at how deputies are saving lives.
It's a call that unfortunately has become routine for Monroe County deputies.
Did he take anything today? Do you know? You don't know?
This body camera video showing the overdose of a young man in his 20s in the town of Sweden last week.
It was kind of chaotic. There's oncoming traffic and Good Samaritans. It was obvious he was unconscious.
Deputies Brian Callahan and Alexa Ray Chorkey responded. Chorkey was in the final phase of her field training.
Right into one nostril, okay?
Just do one thing in there. You're all right. Can you lay back down for me?
On the ride to the hospital, the man told deputies he had used drugs prior to being found unconscious.
We want to be able to help them the best way that we can, and so being able to carry out that conversation afterwards too is really, I think, beneficial and crucial in understanding what's going on.
At the end of the day, this is someone's son, someone's daughter, someone's family member, friend. So we take that on. We take that on in every job.
And then this is in every one of our road patrol cars.
Every shift, deputies have a medical kit that includes Narcan. On average, they are administering it twice a day in Monroe County.
Look, they did a fantastic job. They definitely saved this man's life.
Deputy Michael Favada leads the heroin task force. He will reach out to this young man to connect him with help, something they do with every single overdose. They've seen results. Favada says one individual who overdosed 22 times has now been in recovery for 2 years.
The person battling addiction, they're really the ones who, put forth the effort, beat this, and carry on with their lives.
For the deputies who see these overdoses every day, their mission is clear.
You have to see them for this is a sickness, and we need to help.
The Rochester Police Dept charging one of its own in the arrest of Daniel Prude 18 months ago.
This is a great moment.
Tonight, Daniel Prude's brother Joe celebrating the news that Officer Mark Vaughn will face departmental charges in this case. Good evening. I'm Jenny Ryan.
And I'm Doug Embledge. We do not know what charges Officer Vaughn will face. A grand jury did not indict him or the 6 other officers involved on criminal charges. As Tyler Brown reports now, Joe Prude is hopeful tonight's development could hold more people accountable.
Doug, Jenny, Joe Prude had no idea this had happened until we told him tonight. And while we don't know the severity of the charges, Prude says he hopes this will be a stepping stone for more accountability.
Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground, man. Get on the ground. Put your hands behind your back.
Officer Mark Vaughn, seen on this body camera video holding a spit sock over Daniel Prude's head in March of 2020, is now facing charges within his own department. Daniel's brother Joe says it's the closest thing to justice that he has seen in 18 months.
That was a moment like my mama rubbed my back and said, baby, you did it. You really stood up for your child. Even though that ain't your child, that's your brother, but you raised him like you was his son.
Prude died several days after his encounter with Rochester Police. His death ruled a homicide. All 7 officers who responded to the call were suspended, and a grand jury decided against indicting any of them on criminal charges. Officer Vaughn will be the only one charged by Rochester Police. Those charges have not yet been revealed.
I'm happy, man. I don't care what the charges are. Let me know what it is. You being charged with something. You did something wrong, damn it.
Daniel Prude's death led to hundreds marching the streets demanding justice. Local activists say their mission isn't over yet.
It's very important that folks are held accountable and not just left out to still be able to work.
We are going to stay true to what we have been doing until all the people who murdered Daniel Prude are held accountable.
Now, again, no criminal charges were filed against any of the officers involved in this case. RPD says a formal hearing will be scheduled in the future. We did reach out to Officer Vaughn's attorney and the president of the Locust Club to get their reaction to these charges. We are still waiting to hear back.
COVID-19 cases continues to rise in the Victor School District. 15 new cases are being reported today. Nearly 200 students are in quarantine, mostly in the elementary and intermediate schools, and now the junior high school as well. Tonight, the Ontario County Public Health Director says this spread is happening inside the schools. 13 WHAM's Natalie Kutchko is following the latest developments there. Natalie?
Doug, health leaders in Monroe and Wayne counties say COVID cases in kids they're seeing are stemming from activities outside of school. But in Ontario County, it's a different story. The public health director there is pointing to in-school activities for this current outbreak, with fuller classrooms and busier bus runs. In Ontario County, Public Health Director Mary Beer says the region is seeing more COVID cases in children than ever before. There are now 40 active cases involving staff and students in the Victor Central School District, with the vast majority found in Victor primary and intermediate schools.
Last school season, we saw no spread within the schools, and we are seeing spread in the school, in a classroom, and we're seeing it on the buses.
Nearly 200 students are now in quarantine. Beer says the quarantine involves at least 7 classrooms. Under county rules, all students, regardless of symptoms or testing status, are required to do so. Not all parents are in favor.
I firmly believe that this is going to hurt the children. It's taking away, it's robbing them an education. I firmly believe Victor is doing everything they can to keep the schools open.
Victor Superintendent Tim Terranova held a virtual town hall Wednesday night where he announced students and staff will be tested weekly. Teachers and staff can opt out of testing with proof of vaccination. Students can only be tested with parental consent. When it comes to keeping schools open, Beer says that is the county's top priority.
We're going to do everything possible not to have that happen. We really want the children to experience school. It's important. This was a hard year on families and children. And so we're doing the best we can to quarantine so that we can slow this spread down and stop it.
And of the nearly 200 Victor students currently in quarantine, we asked the district if those students are now learning remotely or taking extended absences, and have not yet heard back.